everyone, and welcome to another Bite where we rewatch the most innovative and intriguing pitches from Shark Tank. I'm Jorie, and I'm joined by the amazing, the astounding, the authentic Ariel.
How's it going?
Why was the gamer's computer cold? It had too many windows open. Oh yeah. Today we're back in the tank with bad puns and potentially worse video games with a new spin on RPGs and UGC. Will the sharks bite, or is it game over for these founders? We'll see in just a moment. Is it just me, or does it feel like the marketing playbook is always changing? Much like the age-old question, to skinny jean or to not skinny jean, marketing strategies can come and go, and come back again. Who can keep up? Luckily, HubSpot makes it their job to keep marketers on trend and on track to hit their goals. Their 2024 State of Marketing Report is the all-in-one guide for everything happening this year and how marketers can best approach it all. HubSpot surveyed more than 1,400 marketing pros across the world and curated the top trends they're thinking about. Sure, there's AI, but there's so much more. The report covers everything from increasing awareness and engagement to ensuring privacy and boosting efficiency and growth. You get all the info you need to shape your strategy for the year and keep on winning into next year. Don't get caught hopping on an old trend. Visit HubSpot.com/state-of-marketing to get your free copy of the report. Today in the tank, we have Overplay. And Overplay is brought to us by Dan and Caroline, and they are asking for $500,000 for 2.5% in their business, which is $20 million. Their product is Overplay, which is an app that enables you to turn videos into these interactive mini games. So the problem that they're trying to solve is that there's not really a platform or a place where people can create really quick user-generated shareable video games that are personalized to them, right? So their solution is to create this platform where there's no coding required, and essentially almost kind of TikTok style, you upload a video and you can create like 15-second experiences. So as of Shark Tank, this platform has already soft launched, but they're asking for additional investment in sharks to really get the traction that they're looking for. So thinking about this pitch, this product, and our founders, Ariel, initial thoughts.
I hate everything about this.
Okay, coming out strong. Love that.
Let's talk about the product itself, right? We go through a demo of what it actually is. You have your video file on your phone. Let's say you just recorded, your friends while you're going out, right? Essentially what this is it's just an AR filter that makes it interactive. So if you think about like a Snapchat lens, like, when you go on Snapchat and they have like the little promotional filters that you play games on, it's usually part of a brand promotion, or like a TikTok filter that you work with. That's like the closest thing to this. So for me, where I'm struggling is like the product itself, I don't really think there's like a point solution here. Like I don't necessarily think this is a problem that people want to solve of, I want to take a video and make this into a video game concept. So I think the fact that it just seems to be like a misalignment and they haven't really had this strong proof of concept. It feels like they just came up with this idea of like, hey, this is something really cool that we can use like artificial reality and, a little bit of programming and AI because it hasn't been created before. They don't have a path to monetization and they've already received like $3 million in funding is something that's like a giant red flag for me, considering the fact that it's an app. And I think the last piece that's like the biggest liability that I'm surprised that the sharks didn't talk about at all is data privacy, copyright infringement. Like what happens if you're out in public and you take a video of someone and they didn't consent to be in that video or consent to be a part of the game? Or what if you're recording something on TV that's like Disney and you want to make a Disney game and then you get copyright for it? So there's so much liability in this product. So between lackluster product, zero liability, zero plans for monetization, I'm 100% out on this story.
Wow.
I feel very strongly about this.
There's a lot of points that you just brought up I want to dig into more. Yeah. So one thing that you brought up is like, there's no problem here. It's not solving for anything.
It's not.
Right. So I was skeptical for the same reason because I was like, where's the demand for this? Like, where are you getting it? And then they brought up advertising. When the sharks started to get really skeptical, we started to get this narrative that ads that are interactive convert at a much higher rate than just a video ad, for example, right? it made me skeptical that like what they're actually trying to solve for on paper is not actually what they're trying to design the product for in the long run. Because they kept mentioning that like companies could create these short form video pieces and then create their own interactive games that then help them convert higher on their ads. And that's what I actually think this is. I don't actually think this is a platform whose long-term design is meant for your average person that's trying to just like create a fun game for their friends. I think that they're trying to turn this into like some form of like user-generated advertising content platform. And they're like packaging it almost like it's TikTok, but the long-term solution they're trying to solve for is really like B2B space and like getting into the advertising space.
Yeah.
So I was really skeptical of their intentions. And then on the flip side, I was like, okay, so I do think that to a certain extent, they're trying to sort of copy TikTok, right? Because like TikTok before the pandemic, I was actually on it. So like, look at me go.
You're
but
a
like,
hipster.
okay, I was such a hipster. But like TikTok was really just like a sing-along app for a very long time. And then it like sort of started getting taken over by like cosplayers. And then it was like this weird artsy space, right? So I was like, okay, so TikTok is a sing-along app that has also now expanded and grown to far beyond that. Is this their version of TikTok where they're like, it's starting as an interactive game, but they're hoping for it to take off like TikTok did during the pandemic? In which case I'm skeptical because I would argue that TikTok was okay popular, but like a world event really skyrocketed it. So I feel like, again, both of these theories, total extrapolation in terms of like how they're planning to scale, because it's kind of unclear what the long-term vision of this platform even is. Both of those theories, though, are me not believing that this is exactly what they say it is, because it just doesn't make sense. Like, who's trying to make games for their friends? You mentioned you're a gamer. I'm a gamer. I didn't understand it. The quality of the games that they're putting out. I got so excited, let me tell you, when they were like, we're democratizing the no code. We're making it easy for people to build their own games. And it's like a more accessible version of like Unreal Engine where people could like really develop games. Then you see the games and it's like sort of like those mini games you see on current apps that you might have on your phone. And I'm like, oh, those are the annoying games. And for those reasons, I'm out.
Their point specifically on like the higher conversion rate for like interactive ads, I just want to click into that because I feel like that stat is kind of taken out of context. I feel like for games that have like in-app purchases or like an in-app notification of like, hey, to continue playing or replenish your energy, purchase more gems.
Sure.
I could see those ads having like a higher conversion. I felt like their answer just, we're going to have advertisers to like monetize, which is like a very blanket statement because the only way to make something like that work is you need to have businesses feel like your channel or your app is a means of distribution for their core audience. They said they only have 150,000 downloads in total, and they've raised $3 million so far.
And they only have 750 in the bank. So they've burned through $3 million already.
Right. So why then would a company choose Overplay as opposed to like a Snapchat or a TikTok? They would have so much more success by selling this to like a Snapchat or a TikTok or a digital marketing platform that actually offers a more robust solution for brand marketers to like find places to put their video content. Because I think that's going to be the challenge with this. You have to be able to offer these brands some way to connect with their audiences. And if you don't have that distribution now, they're not going to spend and invest a lot of money into this.
Yeah. And it's like ads without the ads platform, right?
Yeah.
Who is coming to your platform to even build these games?
I know who it is. And this is going to sound very cruel.
Besides 13-year-old boys?
No,
like,
younger
who?
than that. It's like the 6 to 9-year-old kids that get like their phone for the first time or like their first smartwatch and they're recording like a video of their dog or like their friends in the neighborhood. And they're like, oh my gosh, I can make this into a game. Yeah. But by the time they're 13, like they're moving on to the next thing.
So say their personas are children, which again just offers so many data privacy things. But okay, so children from the ages of 6 to 8. Okay, that's their age range. That's who's going to use their app the most. That's totally fine. Whatever, kids, games, whatever. So do you think that they should then think about partnering with schools to like get people excited about tech options early? The whole branding right now is very sleek, very tech heavy.
Yeah.
With the colors and stuff, it just seems like it's really trying to appeal, at least in the branding, to like the gamer aesthetic. I don't know. It's got those rainbow blues,
those
you
cool
know,
colors, the neon purples.
Exactly. So If they made it more cutesy, potentially rebranded, do you see it as something they could be like, make your own videos with your class?
See, I like that idea.
That would be a hard pivot.
Right.
But I feel like it could then be more of like, we're more interested in getting kids interested in tech and encouraging the next generation of video game developers, which is a huge industry, to start using their creativity. I feel like with a pivot like that, I could sort of understand it, but not for adults and not for your average consumer.
Yeah, I love that idea of this is like an educational opportunity because there's a lot of organizations like Girls Who Code. That's one.
Exactly.
So maybe there's like, here's how we actually coded this in. And now you can like drag and drop and create your own games or come up with different like modules of different types of project kits that like teachers can utilize for their kids or computer labs.
Safe. Yep.
Yeah, but that's an entirely different model. But I actually think that may be more affordable for them and have a longer shelf life than their current B2C approach.
Yeah, it's very unclear who is creating these games, who their audience currently is. And without those pieces of market data, it's very difficult to really understand the full vision of this company. And, you know, I think this gets translated into our Sharks responses. So Barbara comes out hot and is like, I have invested in things like this before and they've all lost me money. So therefore I'm out. And then Jason similarly was like, yeah, I had a friend who was doing something similar and it was amazing. Also sunk me $250K. So I'm out. And I thought this was going to not have a Shark Tank deal.
Same. They're just going to walk away with nothing.
But Mark was very interested. I think we see Mark investing in the tech space all the time. He was like squinting throughout the entire episode, like, how can I spin this? And maybe it's just me not understanding math, but I think this was the sharkiest offer I've ever heard. So Mark offers $500,000 for 4%, which is like not that different from the 2.5% that they were initially offering. But then he is like, in addition to that, if you agree to also pay me back $500,000, I'll make content for you. Now, maybe I don't understand economics or math, and that's totally valid. I was an English major, fine. But it sounds like if you add $500,000 here and you take it away here, that is a net zero, okay? And then you are still giving Mark 4% of your company. So it seems like Mark walked away with a Shark Tank deal of 4% of overshare, offering net zero money. And they were very, very happy about it, to the point that I was like, am I missing something? And the only thing I could think of is that they truly believe that Mark's Shark Tank presence is enough to get them so much traction to make giving away 4% of their company for essentially nothing is going to make them money in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, I think they were cash flow hungry a little bit. So I think that was one of their main consideration factors. So giving $500K and then paying back the $500K makes sense in my mind. We pointed out some of the pitfalls of there's not really an audience or like a product fit for this right now. So I think by saying, hey, give me that $500K and pay me back, it's more of like a guarantee that like, hey, we're going to continue to work on this. This needs to be an investment and goals to kind of hit against. I'm surprised that Mark made the deal. I think it's probably one of the worst investment decisions he's made. Use that as the episode title.
But he's not lost money, you know?
Yeah.
He'll get his money back.
Maybe. I mean, assuming that this takes off. But I'm very surprised. And I would be very surprised if we continue to see this company in the next 2 years.
I think Mark's going to try to get it acquired and then cash out. Yeah. We'll see.
But it's the only way.
It's the only way. Or partner with schools. You've got two options, I guess.
Two very extreme options.
But good luck, Overshare, and we hope to see you in the future.
Overplay.
Ooh. Good luck, Overplay, and congratulations on your Shark Tank deal.
Overshare is what I do on the weekends.
Mood. Get some mimosas in you. You're ready. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. Brunch oversharing.
Yeah. Overshare sounds like actually what that product really is.
Right.
Production for today's episode was brought to you by Arie Desormeaux. Editing comes from Robert Hartwig and support from Alfred Schulz. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or wherever you subscribe to the greatest podcasts ever. That does it for me. See you next week in the tank for another bite. I want to take a break to tell you about a podcast coming to the HubSpot Podcast Network, the audio destination for business professionals. It's called The Next Wave, AI and the Future of Technology. It's hosted by Matt Wolf and Nathan Lands. AI technology is transforming the way we do business, and the media landscape is currently fragmented. The next wave is leading the pack on AI technology and how you can apply it to growing your business. Matt and Nathan are leading AI creators and your guiding light in the AI and technology frontier. Listen to The Next Wave wherever you get your podcasts.